Mm, 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 mm. And we back. Yo, it's been snowing outside, and yeah, your boy been in the crib, but we still delivering this content on a Sunday afternoon. And yes, Clarissa Shields is fighting tonight. I already told my homeboy, like, man, she got that. That's light work for her. Clarissa gonna go in there and she gonna handle business. But I want to talk about this for a second, y'all. Nah, I mean, we not starting comp today, okay? You got Ronda Rousey, Olympic medalist, former UFC champion, arm bar assassin, coming back after a decade of being away from MMA fighting, right? To fight Gina Carano, the woman who made women's MMA marketable, right? Before the UFC even even cared about it, even got their hands on it, right? That's not a fight we're going to be witnessing, okay? This is history arguing, well, yes, arguing with itself, right? Meanwhile, here we go. We got 50 doing what 50 does online, turning somebody's alleged eviction situation into comedy content, right? And then we got the word buzzing, the Chicago Bears looking at Indiana like, maybe I don't feel valued here in Chicago, right? They ain't toxic. They are starving. But let's go ahead and talk about it, y'all. Let's talk about that. And before we even talk about it, y'all know we saving the best for last. Relationship talk, right? Now, let's talk about it. Welcome back to Heartbeat Arena, episode 80. It's your boy Trillionaire Chuck, right? You already know the formula: sports, culture, relationship, but we don't talk about them separate, okay? Because it's all the same thing: dominance, leverage, strategy, maintenance. Today, we are going to break down this Ronda Rousey versus Carano full technical legacy breakdown, right? 50 Cent. We got to talk about the troll, 50 Cent. Weaponizing embarrassment, okay? The Bears. Everybody was talking about Arlington Heights. Now we're looking at Indiana, right? The Bears could possibly be leaving Chicago, right? And then, as stated before, I'm going to say it again. You know we saving the best for last. Relationship talk, right? But let's dive into this first segment here. This Ronda Rousey versus Carano, the legacy collision. Okay, now, according to Reuters, right, this fight is official, okay? It's not lies, okay? It's not just a hype. This ain't a what if. No, this is actually happening. Okay, May 16th, 2026, 5 rounds, 145 pounds, streaming on Netflix and the Intuit Dome. This, again, it's not a rumor, y'all. This is really finna happen. This fight is sanctioned. Do you hear me? This fight is sanctioned. Let's go over this real quick. With the record of 12-2, right? Former UFC women's bantamweight champion, former Strikeforce champion, Olympic bronze medalist in judo. Rousey didn't just win, she finished 9 submissions, 3 TKOs. If you've been watching Ronda Rousey, everybody knows she was never a great striker. Her game was getting you on that mat and putting you in the armbar and making you tap out, right? Her armbar was so dominant that opponents walked into the cage already thinking about how to defend it, right? But here's the emotional layer to it all. Her last two fights, brutal knockout losses. We're not going to forget how she got pieced up, okay? We're not going to forget that she was getting the brakes beat off her, okay? The aura cracked. This comeback isn't about money. It's about rewriting the final paragraph. Gina Carano, okay, 7-1, recognized as a pioneer in women's MMA. Carano was the face before the machine existed. She was the real reason networks believed women's MMA could sell. Her style, striking, pressure, physicality, but she hasn't fought professionally since 2009. If memory serves me correct, I just want to make sure. Let me grab my phone. If those who don't remember who Gina Carano was or is, I believe she starred in a couple movies. I'm gonna read them off to you so you guys can know who she is. Gina Carano in movies. Let's see here. Of course, she was in Deadpool. Okay. She was in Haywire. She was in Fast and Furious 6, In the Blood, Extraction. But, oh, she was also in Blood and Bone. Okay. But we all remember her in Deadpool. And some might say, oh, what do you mean, Deadpool? Well, remember the girl that was walking with Francis? That was Gina Carano. That was her, right? So she's not just a celebrity, right? She was the pioneer of women's MMA. Okay. Now, back to her performing in this fight. It's not rust, it's a time capsule. Okay. But let's talk about the different styles both of these fighters have, because I think we need to really grasp this. Okay. It's going to be a style war. Ronda Rousey does not, it's been proven when she fought Holly Holm. When you stand Ronda up, it's over for her. Okay. This is a grappling supremacy versus striking pressure. Okay. You're talking about a bronze Olympic medalist in judo facing a striker. Okay. If Rousey gets the clinch, it's over. It might be over probably before the end of the first round. Okay. However, if Carano keeps range and lands early, the comeback story turns tragic for Ronda. Okay. 5 rounds, ladies and gentlemen, means fatigue, right? Exposes truth. And I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna take my shades off for this one. I want you all to look me in my eyes when I'm talking to you. Okay. If Ronda Rousey gets into a striking game with Gina, it's over for Ronda Rousey. She does not do well in stand-up combat. It's been proven. Okay. And you're going against one of the elite strikers in women's MMA. Okay. My guess how this is going to turn out is simple. Ronda's going to try to do her little boom, 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 and try to go for the single leg shoot or the double leg shoot, or she's going to try to clinch and give her a hip toss. If Gina keeps her distance and just strike and move and break Ronda down by the fourth round, if Ronda is still up in the fourth round and Gina does not allow Ronda to clinch, it's over with for Ronda. It would be over for her. And that's just Trillionaire Chuck's prediction. Okay, now let's get into this whole 50 Cent beef with Jim Jones. Okay, 50 Cent versus Jim Jones, humiliation and strategy. All right. If you haven't seen this, okay, major outlets reported 50 Cent posted footage allegedly showing Jim Jones kicking at a locked podcast studio door amid eviction reports. Okay. Notice the word allegedly. Okay. But here's what's real. Okay. 50, 50 really don't argue, nothing like that. He embarrasses. That's his thing. He'll try to embarrass you. Okay. In hip hop, humiliation is leverage. You don't beat your opponent, you reduce their status, right? And that's dangerous. Okay. Because public humiliation doesn't just damage reputation, it damages ego. And ego reacts violently. Let's look at what happened with Jim thus far. Okay, old clips showed up about him and his boys going on Dame Dash block. Dame Dash is Dolo, right? Now, your boys ain't gonna fight Dame. As Cam said, Dame used to box Golden Glove. So it's not like Dame is a Joe Smo. He has the fundamentals of boxing. Okay. Now, he said, "You got all those muscles for what?" And Jim said, "I got the muscles to look cute." And it's just been like embarrassing for Jim. Now, I got embarrassed from an old clip of you getting punked by Dane, with you and your boys, and Dane kicked y'all off the block. Okay, you got punked by Dane and thrown off the block. Now you over here getting evicted out of your own podcast studio. Rumor has it 50 Cent bought the building, right? And say you couldn't keep up the payments for your podcast. And now you shown kicking doors in and everything in that nature. And 50 is saying now you got to pay for that. Now 50 caught you on camera and now he's trolling you. And it's looking bad for you, Jimmy, in 2026, man. Come on, bro. I'm going to need you to get that together, my man. For real, for real. You got this money, man. Just get the building, pay the monthly, or pay whatever you need to pay. Get your studio back rocking, okay? That's what you need to do, man. Get your studio stuff back rocking, man. And stop letting 50 troll you and all this other stuff, man. Because that's what 50 love to do. He love to troll people. The minute you don't give him nothing to troll about, I'm telling you, he eventually becomes irrelevant. But you give him some type of ammunition, and yeah, he's going to be at you for a whole month, clowning you. But enough about that, y'all. Let's talk about these Bears leaving Chicago. Right? Now, NFL.com reports the Bears are exploring land near Wolf Lake in Hammond, Indiana. Indiana passed SB 27 to help attract the team. Okay. Now, CBS Chicago reports Illinois lawmakers debated freezing the Bears' property taxes for up to 40 years in Arlington Heights. Okay. This isn't relocation, it's negotiation warfare, basically. Here's one scenario: stay at Soldier Field tradition, but with limits. Okay. You got the other scenario: Arlington Heights, control, tax tension. Okay. And then the last scenario, you have Indiana, new leverage, identity risk. Okay. The Bears might not want to leave, but they want Chicago to feel like they might. We will see. We will keep you updated with what is going on. Okay. I personally do not want the Chicago Bears to leave Chicago, but that's just Trillionaire Chuck. How do you all feel about that? Please drop a comment. Let Trillionaire Chuck know what's on your mind. Okay. Again, that's leverage. Okay. Because you got the Bears who I feel should stay here, right? Because of the tradition, but there are limits. Then you got another city, Arlington Heights, control tax tension. Then you got Indiana, new leverage, right? Identity risk. So it's a leverage thing right here. Again, I hope that they stay in Chicago. Okay. But let's move along because now we got to talk about the last segment in the show, relationship talk, right? This is kind of new. I mean, it's new because I never talked about this before, but I'm going to talk about it today after discussing it, researching with my research team on this topic. It's called the 7-7 rule. Okay. Now let's get serious. The 7-7 rule. This is really what it is. Okay. Date every 7 days, get away every 7 weeks, kid free vacation every 7 months. The 7-7 rule. Psychology Today frames it as intentional connection to prevent emotional drift. But let me tell you what really happens in relationships, as I always do, right? Nobody wakes up and says, I want us to fall apart. I don't think nobody really does that. Nobody says that. Okay. It happens quietly. Conversations get shorter, touch gets rarer, laughter becomes logistics, love doesn't explode, it erodes. Yeah, let's dive more into this. So let's go into the weekly date protection thing, right? Let's roll the camera on this one. One night a week where you remember why you chose each other. Not to talk bills, not to talk kids, not to scroll on the phone, because that's what we kind of do. We'll sit there, we'll be on our phone just scrolling, all that great stuff, right? But just to look, to laugh, to reconnect, that's maintenance, right? Now let's talk about this 7 week getaway reset. When I mean 7 week, like when I say 7 week, is after the 7 weeks you plan to get away, right? So that I want to break down this 7 week portion of it. Okay, and again, because I don't want no one going back to about, yeah, we need to go away every 7 weeks. No, it's every 7 days you go on a date, and then on the seventh week. So basically, on the seventh day, you guys pick a date. You and your significant other are gonna go out and spend time with each other. No kids, don't talk about no bills. Y'all just vibe and connect. We're now talking about on the seventh week. Okay, you all plan a getaway vacation. And when you're doing this, is to help reset the relationship, right? New environment, new energy, new memories. Routine kills desire. Okay. Novelty revives it. All right. Then on the seventh month, so on the seventh month, basically, if you want to like start from January, we'll say July. Okay. In July is the repair. That's the monthly vacation. Okay. This is the deep clean. Okay. No distractions, no responsibilities, just presence. Because intimacy isn't automatic, it's cultivated. My question, is this a good idea? Yes, if it's, discipline and if you got the money for it. No, if it's pressure. Okay. If it becomes you missed week 7, so you don't love me, you turn romance into performance, right? The goal isn't perfection, it's priority. Okay. Because just like a stadium, just like a fight career, if you stop investing, decay is automatic. Okay. Now, let's sum this all up. What you all think? Again, drop the comments below because Trillionaire Chuck wants to know. Okay. Who wins? Ronda or Carano? Okay. Should the Bears move? Right? Would you actually commit to the 7-7-7 rule? Or are you already too busy? Drop your answers in the comments. Let Chuck know. Okay. Again, Legacy matters, leverage matters, maintenance matters, okay? In the cage, in business, and love. It's your boy Trillionaire Chuck, and this is Heartbeat Arena. Again, I'm going to catch you all next time in the arena. Peace out.